Thank you very much. Let me warmly welcome you and first apologize for the late start of this meeting. We had intended it to start at 10:30, but we had a national security briefing and it delayed. It went beyond the time we had allotted. So I know I should thank you for giving me. But I want to thank you for answering to our call at very short notice. It was important to invite you because we've received a lot of requests from various traditional areas and houses of chiefs to pay courtesy and congratulatory visits. And I believed it was in order for the National House itself to be the first to call on the president before we accede to the requests from the regions and other traditional areas to pay a courtesy visit. Unfortunately, we're not working out of the office of the president yet. This is just temporary because some works are ongoing to reconfigure the place to suit the new administration that is coming. But I want to first thank you all for the warm welcome you gave us during the campaign when we called on you in your palaces. I do think that the role you played in welcoming us and giving us good counsel on how to conduct our campaigns and make sure that the election is held peacefully, in a peaceful atmosphere. I think all that contributed to the successful election we had. We must thank all of you and thank the Almighty God for once again seeing Ghana through a successful election. And I think that the way the whole world celebrated Ghana for the peaceful transition has added one more accolade in our caps as the beacon of democracy in Africa. And it is something that we must all take a pride in. It is my intention that we will hold regular dialogues on many issues of importance, not only to the Chieftaincy institution, but also to the progress of our dear nation, Ghana. And so the way we'll structure this meeting, we would do these welcome addresses, short remarks, and then after that, the media will leave us, and then we will go into our discussion. But there are a few issues that we need to begin to look at. In all the security briefings I've got after December 7th, the issue of chieftaincy disputes has become a major issue. Anytime a chief passes away and a new chief has to be selected, invariably 2 rival chiefs or 3 rival chiefs suddenly appear. In the 1992 Constitution, it was decided from the unpleasant experiences of the past where government used to interfere in chieftaincy matters to leave the issue of chieftaincy completely to the chiefs themselves. That is the National House of Chiefs and the regional houses of chiefs. But then I do think that there are issues that come up, especially with the selection of new chiefs that create security crisis. And so when law and order breaks down, government is called in to protect the peace. And so I think that we must work with you to see how we can prevent this from happening. I remember that at a point, it was decided that there should be a codification of the lines of succession. I don't know how far that project has gone, but it looks like the issue of disputes is becoming even worse by the day than it was before this codification took place. And so that's an issue that I think we should look at. As I said, we intend to hold a constitutional review validation conference. And at that conference, the intention is to put the work of the Fiajo Committee, which was the initial work that was commissioned by President Atta Mills, and then also the work that was done by the Chieftaincy Committee under the commission of President Nana Akufo-Addo. and put all those on the table so that we see what is still relevant in terms of amending our constitution and what is no longer relevant. As you operate under a constitution, you find some loopholes and things that were not completely anticipated. And so for every country, after a while, there might become the necessity to make amendments to a constitution. And I just give the example of the impasse between Parliament and the Supreme Court as to who has the mandate to declare seats vacant and all that. And so if we're looking at the constitution again, that's one of the areas we should look and tighten so that it makes it clear who has the constitutional mandate to do what. There might be other issues like that that we need to look at. There are various issues that I think that if we amend, it would make our constitution more of a living document than it is currently. We've operated under it since 1992, and I think that there are some aspects of it we must look at. I know when I came through your palaces, many of you raised the issue of the Supreme Court ruling barring chiefs from summoning their subjects to their palaces. And so when the opportunity comes to look at the Constitution again, I'm sure that you have a position that you can present to be able to look at that aspect of it in order that we are able to make clear what the lines of authority are in respect of our traditional rulers. In our campaign, one of the issues I raised was to see how we can increase the involvement of chiefs in the governance architecture that we have. There are some things that we need your influence to support government to be able to achieve. Protection of the environment is one of them. The traditional areas belong to you, but it's government agencies like the EPA and all those agencies that are supposed to have the legal mandate to protect the environment. But, I mean, the EPA is sitting here in Accra. How many offices do they have in your traditional areas? So if somebody goes into a forest reserve and starts cutting trees down, the chief has absolutely no power to stop the person. And most of the time, the person will come with a license from Accra and say, oh, they gave me a license, this is my concession, I've come to cut timber. And so how do we get the chiefs, better involved so that it's a synergy between government and our traditional authorities? These are all issues that have been agitating my mind, and I raised them during the campaign. And so I do think that when we have the opportunity, we'll be able to discuss it, and then when the opportunity comes to look at the overarching law of the land, which is the Constitution, maybe you might have some ideas that we can include there so that we're better able to harness the influence that you have in your areas to be able to do things. And so these are just a few. There are many more things I'll brief you on when the media has left, but these are the few remarks that I'll make. And again, say a very warm welcome to all of you and to thank you very much for answering to our call. Thank you.